Hi, everybody, and thanks for staying up late tonight. Out on the West Coast, the Marlins taking on the Dodgers first of three as this road trip concludes here in Los Angeles. Yes, Buehler, Walker Buehler makes his first big league start. Cameron Maven, Lewis Brinson, part of the outfield, part of the lineup that will face this young man in his first big league start. And oh, by the way, the long list of National League Rookies of the Year. That guy's on it, as is him. He wouldn't tell you that because he's too humble. I'll tell it to you. Yeah, he's part of 5 straight. But anyway, for the Marlins, it's nice for them, as Don Mattingly said before the game, to just get out of Milwaukee after the 4-game sweep and just kind of start fresh.
There's not many positives you could take from the Milwaukee series. Listen, we talk about happy flights all the time, winning that last game, getting on the plane and leaving. Listen, happy or unhappy, listen, just getting on the plane and getting out of Milwaukee was everybody's task. There too long, not too much good came out of that series. You move on, new opportunity, warmer weather here in Los Angeles, and a great start, hopefully, for Garcia tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's had 2 of them, and they have both been phenomenal. He was the only starter, of course, that didn't start in that 4-game series against the Brewers, but last time out against the Yankees, he was superb, piggybacking on his first.
Now, get a load of this, folks. Hitters are 1 for their last 34 against Harlan Garcia. That is just dominant stuff, and I'll attest to it. I saw every pitch in the last 2 starts. It's not like the Marlins are catching a bunch of line drives out there. It's soft contact, it's on the ground, it's some pop-ups, and he's racking up some strikeouts as well. The 3 pitches are working, great slider, good changeup to go along with spotting that 92, 93 mile an hour fastball.
So obviously the goal for him is to just keep things going. He could, I'm sure he wouldn't do it tonight, but could probably say a thing or two to Walker Buehler about how to handle your first big league start, and that's exactly what Walker Buehler has in front of him.
Well, hey, listen, Walker Buehler's he's gonna go back to that 96 to 101. I talked about it in the pregame show. He's got it. He throws as hard as any prospect in the game. He's the number 4 right-handed prospect in all of baseball. He's getting an opportunity tonight to show what he can do at the major league level. He's got some experience, but this is his first big league start.
Very similar to Harlan Garcia. Of course, Garcia a lot more out of the bullpen last year, but out of the bullpen in September last year for the Dodgers and in his first big league start in just a few moments. We're going to step aside here from Los Angeles. When we come back, we check in once again with Jessica Blaylock and how some guys have had some success here at Dodger Stadium. Three-game set for the Marlins and the Dodgers. Let's go downstairs to Jessica Blaylock.
Hey, Paul, it's been about a week since JT Realmuto rejoined the Marlins. In that time, a .417 batting average, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs. And he could easily add to those numbers here in Los Angeles. In 16 career games at Dodger Stadium, JT Realmuto has hit safely in all 16. Here is JT on swinging the bat in this ballpark.
It's a good ballpark to hit in, I think, and it's got a good backdrop. There's a lot of energy in the stadium, which for me that means a lot. Stepping in the box, just having a good crowd, and even if they're against you, just feeling that atmosphere and feeling that energy, it's definitely a place I like to play.
When you know you have good numbers at a ballpark, does it give you a little bit of an edge going into a series?
Honestly, I didn't even know I had good numbers here until you told me, so I don't know if it necessarily, I think just the feel when you get into the box. Some places you feel better than others, and this is definitely one of those places.
JT doesn't care where he's at. He just wants to hit, and you heard Realmuto mention that good crowd in Los Angeles. Well, tonight it will include his father, Dave. When we return, it is first pitch between the Dodgers and the Marlins. We're going to get this Tinseltown series started. It will be Walker Buehler on the mound for LA. Harlan Garcia will get the start for Miami.
WB Mason, who but WB Mason, the official office supply company of the Miami Marlins. Chevrolet, see your South Florida dealer today, and buy your local Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. Well, a perfect night here in Los Angeles, as most are here at Chavez Ravine, a true jewel. The oldest ballpark in the National League, and it still looks as great as it did when it opened, some 60 years ago. So Walker Buehler makes his big league debut. This is the lineup that he will face. A former Dodger, Miguel Rojas, will lead things off. Derek Dietrich, who has been in that spot for the last week plus, gets the night off. JT Realmuto, we noted the great numbers that he's got here at Dodger Stadium. He hits second, and no Justin Bour tonight. Don Mattingly said before the game it's got to do more so with the wanting to get some better defense in there with Harlan Garcia on the mound. So that's why Bour gets the start of the night off. We meet Walker Buehler.
Hey, look at the minor league career numbers, 2016 through 2018. This Dodgers' #1 pick out of Vanderbilt University. Comes out of the baseball factory now. He's already suffered through Tommy John surgery. This is his first major league start tonight. Good stuff, high velocity. You see the dominant numbers he's put up in the minor leagues. 147 strikeouts, Paul, in 106 2/3 innings.
So he gets set to deal to Miguel Rojas, and this 3-game series is underway with ball 1. Well, already out of the gate there at 98 miles an hour. You told us before he'll kind of live in that mid to upper 90s. But what you did say as we were getting set in our pregame show, ground ball to second base, and Austin Barnes over to first, is that maybe there's not a lot of life. But what's the rest of the scouting report?
Well, let's give you the AutoNation scouting report of Walker Buehler tonight. 6'2", 175 pounds now. He's only 23 years old. Down on the farm, 3 AAA starts this season for Buehler. 2.10 ERA, 108 WHIP, which is impressive. 13 innings, 16 strikeouts. Welcome back to the show. Although he's making his first big league start tonight. He got called up last year, and it wasn't too bad. I know his numbers, his ERA was a little bit bloated. I think what's impressive is the strikeout total, 12 in 9 1/3 innings last September. He is a power arm. I'm going to give you the repertoire that this young man possesses. I'm guessing tonight you're going to see an awful lot of the fastball. I'm guessing that the nerves are going to be up, and you're going to see a lot more fastball. He is a power arm. He can hit 100 at times. He's got a sharp curveball, hard slider, and a decent changeup. Doesn't use it too much.
0-1 to JT Realmuto, who takes inside again at 98 miles an hour. So we've already seen him dial it up to the upper 90s a few times for these first 4 pitches. Yesterday for JT Realmuto, after the night off on Saturday, 2 for 2 with a couple of runs scored and a walk against the Brewers. But he's hitting all 16 career games against the Dodgers. That's home road, but here 10 games in Los Angeles, both the longest active streak in Major League Baseball against the Dodgers. We'll see if this one falls down the right field line, and it is just foul.
Wow. We had chalk. Take another look. Uh-oh.
That is first base umpire Mark Ripperger. Let's see.
That's a fair ball. It was just called foul. No doubt. It hit chalk. Undeniable.
And home plate umpire Marty Foster looking at the Dodger dugout to see whether or not they're going to challenge it. And you can. Anything beyond the first base bag, fair or foul, you can challenge. And Don Mattingly still taking a close look at this, and they do want them to give it a look. So the first base umpire who made the call, Mark Ripperger, and the crew chief, Joe West, will get together and talk things over with New York.
Well, I'm 100% convinced already, Paul. I don't think you need anything more from me, do you?
Nope, that's it. You can grab a coffee if you'd like.
That's right.
The field is underway.
I've already played my hand on this one.
But again, just to clarify, the fair or foul only comes into play on balls in the outfield. That clearly was. You could see where the divot is. So
it's undeniable. Those lines, and again, we watch this. I see this every day. Did it enough as a player. That line is put down. It is as precise at home plate as it is at the 330-foot mark down the line. If that's what you're thinking about, is that white line? Is there any variance to it? It is not. You're going to watch. I'd be shocked if this is anything but what I think it is.
Didn't take them long to say that it's a foul ball. So the call in the field stands.
Wow.
So
shocked.
As it is stands, not enough to overturn.
Let's take one more look.
If anything, it would be that the divot. Well, that's a hit. That's a fair ball. That much we know.
Fine, take that. Will not be denied, right? 16-game hitting streak now becomes 17 for JT Realmuto against the Dodgers in his career. He sees the ball so well here.
1 on, 1 out.
Dodgers starting defense is brought to you by Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center. Kemp getting the start in left field. Taylor in center. Puig in right. Farmer, Hernandez, Barnes, and Bellinger. Grandal behind the plate with Buehler on the mound.
4th season as a manager for Dave Roberts, and boy oh boy has he had some success. course, last year the Dodgers won the pennant for the first time since they won it all back in 1988, as Buehler's first pitch to Starlin Castro is in there for a called strike.
Now, one thing that you see with Buehler, again with the velocity, and certainly it's impressive, you see 97, 98 miles an hour, there's not a whole lot of tilt to the fastball. It's straight over the top. It's got a high spin rate. When you see it out of his hand, it's where it's going. It's not changing lanes, as I like to say.
So as we talked about in the pregame, and I mentioned right as Rojas was grounding out, that's what you mean by not a lot of life.
Yeah, it does not move. You're as a hitter, you're really honing in. Of course, you got to be quick. You got to get your front foot down. All the things that go along with the velocity conversation. But what I'm really kind of getting at is if you can see that ball early, so it's a little bit more of a challenge, but really concentrate on where that release point is. You can pick the lane that the ball's coming out of and then really hone in on that lane because it's not going to change. The high spin rate may let it ride into the strike zone a little bit more, but it's not going to sink. It's not going to, run off a corner.
2-1 to Starlin Castro. Chops one through the left side for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Marlins with one out here in the first.
Buehler's early lesson in tonight's ball game is, yeah, you may throw hard, but if you throw breaking balls over the middle of the plate, we can hit those too. A couple of back-to-back base hits and the secondary stuff from Buehler. A swing from Starlin as he bounces one through the left side. The Marlins in business.
And Castro stays hot, now 8 for 21 over the last 5 games, and that at bat on this road trip. So that will bring up Brian Anderson, hitting in the cleanup spot as he did for a game in Milwaukee. Justin Bohr the day off. So Anderson in there in the number 4 hole for Don Mattingly. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it straight back.
He had a good pass at it. Well, one thing about the Dodgers, the 10-10 Dodgers, a lot of their games have been decided early. When they score first, they're 9-2 on the season. But if the opposition scores first, they're 1-8. So good opportunity here maybe for the Marlins to jump out.
For Anderson, 1 for 4 in yesterday's ball game, 4 for 19 with a double and an RBI on this road trip that started a week ago in the Bronx. 2 games there, a day off in Milwaukee, 4 games against the Brewers, and now 3 in LA before heading back to Miami. 9-game, 10-day, 3-city road trip.
Take 2 and go to right has been the approach from Anderson many times in these early games with the Marlins. Runners in scoring position, willing to go the other way, stay inside the baseball.
Looks like he might have tried that there, albeit to fight one off. But it remains 0-2. Brian has seen Walker Buehler before. He told me before the game that he actually saw Walker Buehler. He said he might have been the last guy I faced, if not one of the last guys I faced before I got the call to the big leagues last year. So we'll see what sort of information he was able to pull from that encounter as he takes that one low and in the dirt. The ball and 2 strikes.
Well, you see he's trusting the breaking ball already. He continues to go to it. It's a big pitch. It's electric. It's over the top, 12-6. He threw it for strikes early. Both times they were hit into the hole for base hits by Real Muto and Castro.
High school in Lexington, Kentucky for this young man. 24th overall out of Vanderbilt, 2015. 8 games with the Dodgers in their pen last year. This is his first big league start, and he gets his first strikeout of the night.
Buehler able to dial up 99 at the bottom of the zone. I have to admit, seeing that pitch right there took me back. I struggled with this pitch myself just because at 99 miles an hour, you think it's below the zone. You don't think that it's actually going to come across at your knees, and a lot of times it ends up being a pretty good pitch. No argument from Anderson.
And now Cameron Maben, who's out in left field tonight for the Marlins, as Derek Dietrich gets himself a night off. Pinch hit in yesterday's ball game, 2 for 16 on the road trip. Takes a called strike.
Cameron's hitting 3 straight at Dodger Stadium. He's had good career numbers here. 4 for 12. He's got a home run as well.
Real Muto on second, Castro on first. Both men singled. Well, living up to the scouting report in the first 18 pitches. He has been living in the 98 to 99 range throughout. So for Buehler, he's clearly getting the start tonight. Sounds like perhaps he'll get the start on Saturday, part of a doubleheader for the Los Angeles Dodgers. All because Rich Hill on the 10-day DL with a cracked fingernail.
I'm sure results will have something to do with that. Certainly have some top pitching prospects in the system, but you're right. I think that's generally the way that it was perceived. Be another opportunity later this week. Part of the scouting report on Buehler is if he falls behind hitters, though, he traditionally will go back to the fastball. If the Marlins start to get at him a little bit, you'll see more and more of that fastball.
Hitters count here for Maben. Takes upstairs, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the first.
Right fielder number 3, J.B. Shuck.
That'll bring up J.B. Shuck with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Shuck played in yesterday's ball game against the Brewers, 0 for 3. Couple of hits on this road trip and up in a big spot early. It's 99 on the edge, 0-1.
And there it is, 97, 98 miles an hour, as I mentioned. Probably see 100 at some point tonight. Especially if it's an excitable situation where the crowd gets into it. Not much life. We talked about changing lanes. Both plus pitches. His sliders, curveball, changeup doesn't throw it very often. It will show up every now and again. And you've seen the breaking ball. It's 12-6. It's over the top. It's sharp. One thing he's been working on his secondary pitches is the command of that. At times he can get a little erratic, and if he does get erratic, he always goes back to the fastball. It's not like a slider's going to get him back into the strike zone. It will be his four-seam fastball that he will rely on.
Bases loaded and an 0-2 pitch on the way to J.B. Shuck. Moves him off the plate. Grandal can't find it, but no advance at third by Real Muto. You can only imagine what the emotions are. Talked about in the open. It's got to be somewhat similar to Harlan Garcia, who made his first big league start 2 times ago in the rotation. Still some major league experience. Pitched in 8 games for the Dodgers last year. But when you're the guy on the mound throwing the first pitch here at Dodger Stadium, you have to imagine there's some sort of nerves, some sort of emotions. You've already seen him step off a couple of times to regain his thoughts. And he'll deliver a 1-2 to Shuck, and he gets him swinging. But it hit the dirt. So Shuck will have new life.
Well, 2-strike approach, awkward swing, looking to just get a piece and foul it off. Clearly did.
Real Muto at third, Castro at second, and Maben on at first. Strikes out Shuck. Leaves the bases loaded. We'll check in with Harlan Garcia when we come back. Loaded in the top of the first inning, but unable to push across a run against Walker Buehler. So now Harlan Garcia will face the Dodgers starting lineup. They are without their big-time slugger, Justin Turner, who's currently on the disabled list. They also don't have Logan Forsythe, but in the 7 games without Forsythe, Corey Seager's hit .321, and the guy who's hitting leadoff, Chris Taylor, is hitting .281. We'll see if the success continues for Harlan Garcia. 2 starts, 6 innings, no hits. 5 innings, 1 hit. See if he can bring his A game out here to Los Angeles.
Well, 21 innings, 11 walks. That's a little bit high. Obviously, the 1 home run he's given up. I think what's been so impressive is he's just commanded the contact, and that's really it. He's not getting hit hard. This has not been the Marlins playing tremendous defense behind Harlan Garcia, and that there's been a lot of line drives that have just been caught. This has been executing the fastball. This has been using those secondary pitches, the changeup and the slider, so efficiently and so perfectly in his sequencing.
So he faces Chris Taylor to start. The first pitch was up in the zone for strike 1. That one on the edge for strike 2. So quickly 0-2 to the leadoff hitter for the Dodgers. You see the season numbers there at .239, but he's been heating up a little bit more as of late, and clearly has hit the Marlins very well. Two for 4 in last night's ball game against the Washington Nationals on the homestand for the Dodgers. 5 for 11. A couple of doubles, a triple. He's got himself a 5-game hit streak. Just misses upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You mentioned heating up. It's based 7 times in the Nats series. 5 hits and a couple of doubles. Off to a slow start, but swinging it a little bit better.
He's thrown 5 pitches to Chris Taylor, and 2 or 3 of them have been up in the zone. Some have been called strikes, some have just missed. We'll see what happens on 3-2. Off the edge, and a leadoff walk.
Thanks. Starting Marlins defense is brought to you by Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center. Maybe getting to start in left field. Brinson in center, Shuck in right. Anderson, Rivera, Castro, and Rojas. JT Realmuto behind the plate for Harlan Garcia.
Don Mattingly, 8th season as a Marlins manager, of course managed in Los Angeles for a little bit of time as well, so a bit of a reunion tour for him through New York to begin the road trip, and obviously here in LA to end it. This one off the end of the bat towards center field by Kike Hernandez. Lewis Brinson is there for the first out of the first.
That's probably one thing that Harlan's going to have to be very careful of tonight. There's a lot of evidence that points to the aggressiveness of this Dodgers lineup. They love to swing the bat early in the count. They're real aggressive. In fact, on the first pitch of an at bat, they're hitting .388 this season. It's their highest batting average in any count. To tell you that they like to swing the bat.
So that you don't suspect there will be many get-me-over pitches?
Well, you just better be careful with that idea of the get-me-over, that you may get jumped on if you're not careful. There's some power up and down this lineup.
I want to bring up Matt Kemp. You saw those numbers, a .321 average. He's got 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. You don't have to check your calendars. It is 2018. He is somewhat back to that form that he had earlier in his career, back in his first go-around with the Dodgers. He's bounced around a little bit since then, but he has come into camp in terrific shape.
You going best shape of your life on me already?
I'm just saying terrific, that's all. Anytime you drop 40 pounds in the offseason and the game translates so far for him.
I think it's fair to say his career was in jeopardy. I really believe that. I'm not sure that the Dodgers had plans for Matt Kemp in spring training.
Skies this one to shallow right center field. It's kind of out in no man's land, but it's up there long enough for Brinson to track it down, and there are 2 away.
That's number 2 and number 3 hitter in the lineup, swinging at the first pitch.
Well, these two guys have seen each other before. And don't feel bad, Harlan. He did this to just about everybody last year.
Well, he had 13 home runs against the lefties as well. So, I mean, I think that's an incredibly impressive number. This young man has only been on the scene for just about a year. And you see the numbers that he continues to put up. Obviously, good numbers against the Marlins. I mean, 39 home runs. That's, I don't know, rookie record, like all time in the National League. I've already described to you. I hit 4 times as many homers in that first at bat, talking about the Marine later in night games here. Right. Think about it. This is his home ballpark for 81 games. This guy's got big time pop.
Well, you see why. He takes that big swing. Missed that one, and it's 0-2. But the unanimous choice for the National League Rookie of the Year last year. He fell short of some round numbers. 39 home runs, 97 RBIs. But I know he's not trading that in for anything. What a year it was. He, along with Aaron Judge, just unbelievable rookie years in terms of the power both possess. And fortunately for the Marlins, you get to see them both in their sophomore campaign on the same road trip.
It was the missing 20 games at the beginning of the year he didn't get.
That's what it was. You're right.
Take that to arbitration.
You know you've made it when you get a bobblehead. He homered on his bobblehead night.
Of course he did.
You're in town for the Eric Thames bobblehead yesterday. He did not home.
Do things different in Milwaukee. He didn't even start.
He didn't even start. That's totally different. 2-2. Taylor goes, and Bellinger got underneath this one out to right field. It's going to be Shuck for out number 3. So he works around the leadoff walk to get 3 fly balls. Still hasn't given up a hit. Oh, no, that was the last start. Lewis Brinson is back. 3 homers in Milwaukee. Trying to transfer it out here to L.A. Fly balls and get out of the first inning unscathed. He's due up 3rd in this inning. Lewis Brinson, Yadiel Rivera, and the aforementioned Garcia. 7, 8, and 9 for the Marlins against Walker Buehler, who threw 26 pitches in the first inning. 16 of them for strikes as Brinson drops down the bunt that rolls foul. 0-1. Well, for Brinson in Milwaukee yesterday was 0 for 3, but over the course of that series woke up a little bit, at least with the power stroke, connecting on 3 home runs, 2 of which on Thursday. His first first 3, I suppose you could say, with the Miami Marlins. But that was on the heels of the couple of days off he took in New York. Figured something out with the hands. And now the 0-2 pitch is a called strike 3. Well, of course, there have been the home runs, but there have also been the strikeouts, and it seems like there have been a lot of 0-2 counts with Brinson.
Well, it happens at times. Now, again, listen, getting yourself out of a slump and not striking out is as simple as, well, I'd say it's simple. It's not as simple. It's the idea that you put the ball in play that you want to swing at it. That's it. You don't foul it off. So it gets to the timing of your swing, the idea of what you're looking for. There's a lot of things that kind of get into those details. But when you're fouling off your pitch or missing your pitch, kind of the way hitters talk, then you find yourself in deeper counts. And I can promise you this, when you get to 0-2, whether you're in your first year, your 6th year, your 12th year, your 15th year in the big leagues, 0-2 counts, you get a little bit more nervous, you get a little bit more anxious, and you try to defend the plate differently. And I think you're seeing that from Brinson. Zone's starting to expand a little bit.
0-2 to Yadiel Rivera, who gets to start today at shortstop with Miguel Rojas over at first. And Justin Bohr getting the night off. Rivera unable to hold up, so back-to-back strikeouts here in the 2nd inning, but that's 3 consecutive strikeouts if you go back to the first.
You know, one thing he is doing well, and I heard this is part of his developing scouting report kind of moving through last year, that he's starting to elevate really well. We've seen the high fastball at the top of the zone, 97, 98 miles an hour, not just to get a swing and a miss, but actually for a strike.
And a strike to Harlan Garcia. Still looking for his first big league hit.
The Dodger dugout, boy, didn't miss by much. It was just we used to have a saying. It was ring the tardy bell, and he was a little late on that, wasn't he? Whew, the reaction to the Dodger dugout was priceless. Everybody jumped like they were scared, you know, like they'd seen a ghost.
Just misses low and in, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Getting right around the edges. Grandal calls for the fastball, and that one misses low. Count runs full.
Buehler able to navigate his way through the 1st inning. Obviously, runners on, needed to make some big pitches. He did.
He intimidated him with squaring around to walk, or squaring around to bunt. Either way, he's on base. That's the 2nd free pass tonight for Buehler.
Well, when a pitcher does it to a pitcher, doesn't it tell you what I mean, think about it, right? I mean, hitters don't think about doing that very often, but yet another pitcher did that to a pitcher and he threw a ball. So clearly there's something to it, right? I mean, let's add it up. I mean, he thought, you know what, if I square around here, maybe I'll get him off his game. It worked.
But back to the top of the order for Miguel Rojas, who grounded out to 2nd base to lead off the ball game. Rojas over at first tonight. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter, struck out in yesterday's ball game in Milwaukee. He's got 3 hits, including a double on this road trip.
Well, this is a pretty good example of youth. We talk about the talent that Buehler possesses and how highly rated and ranked he is as a top prospect in the game of baseball. But you look at the sequencing here now, you know, over the last 6 or 7 pitches, you know, dealing with Harlan Garcia, now falling behind 2-0 to Rojas. Definition of wasting some bullets. Pitch count now up near 40. Remember, he is on a little bit of a short leash. Dave Roberts said 6 innings, 90 pitches. He's almost halfway there.
He made 3 starts in AAA prior to this, his first big league start, as Castro takes, or rather Rojas takes, a called strike. 2-2.
His last start in Oklahoma City went 4 innings, 80 pitches. So efficiency not at the forefront of a few of his starts of late.
Then you look at the game log and you realize his start prior to that was 5 innings and 73 pitches. And you look at the score column and they won 19-1. So
right. Well, when you
strikes.
define it, it's youth. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just it. Youth does this. I mean, we've seen it in certainly plenty of examples with the Marlins. Highs and lows, extreme highs and some extreme lows.
Got
the peaks and the valleys.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it takes time to figure that out.
Well, it's really just
navigate it.
you learn how to control the emotion of the game, and that's it. That's the biggest step that anybody coming up from AAA, moving into the big leagues, you talk about. Yeah, it's the greatest players on the planet, no doubt, but you have to learn how to control your emotions.
3-2. Garcia off with the pitch. Rojas got a piece to stay alive, and he'll see another one. Rojas back in Los Angeles, was a member of this organization way back when. Traded over to the Marlins back in December of 2014. Along with Dan Herron and D. Gordon over to the Marlins. Ground ball up the middle, nicely done at shortstop by Hernandez. Spins and throws and gets Rojas. Wow, that is a nice play to take away a base hit for Kike Hernandez. Ranges to get to it, spins and throws a strike. Descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Marlins fans out here in Los Angeles checking out a game. Fantastic. Beautiful night for baseball. About 61 degrees at first pitch. As Harlan Garcia continues to deal as a starter. Face Yasmani Grandal, Yasiel Puig, and Austin Barnes. Hey, Tommy Lasorda's in the house.
First big league manager. There he is.
Still comes to games quite often, right? If not every day.
Pretty regularly around Chavez Ravine.
When was the last time you think he paid for a meal out here? Like 87?
Here?
Yeah.
Never.
Never.
Not here.
No, just LA in general, maybe.
Never.
Never. Okay, good. Good to know.
It really is no. Being very truthful.
I think he's still barking at umpires too. Who knows?
Whoever it is, he's defending. There's somebody in there. That was always his angle. He's one of the best. Certainly appreciated Tommy. Every opportunity he gave me. It's good to see him before the game.
One of baseball's great men, great characters. As Yasmani Grandal takes a called strike. Again, Grandal, Puig, and Barnes due up in the second inning here for the Dodgers. We're back at the 500 mark, 10-10. For the first time since they were 2-2, as they got 2 out of 3 against the Washington Nationals. A comeback win in the rubber match last night, late night. We flew in off in the distance. You could see Dodger Stadium still lit up. It's a good club the Dodgers have. There is no doubt about it. And off to a terrific start is this man right here, Yasmani Grandal. That strikeout notwithstanding. There is one away. First strikeout of the night for Garcia.
Number 66.
Come out to the ballpark and celebrate Puerto Rican heritage on Saturday, April 28th, when the Marlins take on the Colorado Rockies. Purchase a bundled ticket package and receive an exclusive Puerto Rican Heritage Night jersey. To join the festivities, purchase your tickets today at marlins.com/Puerto Rico.
One out for Yasiel Puig. He takes a called strike. Puig 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts in last night's ball game against the Nats. 2 for 10 on the homestand. Now, he is a guy that certainly at times can leave the Dodgers and their fans scratching their heads. There are times when he looks like a superstar. There are times when, the nicest way I could put it, he doesn't.
And I think the best thing that's happened to this organization is that it's developed some of its own stars, and Puig is one of them, not the lone star, if you know what I mean. A few seasons ago, he was kind of the guy, the story, out in front of a lot of things that were going on. Now he is a complimentary star to a few other Dodgers. Well, Puig's the opposite story. He's just kind of getting back to spring. He had an incredible spring. I've had my eyes on him thinking he was going to have a huge year this year. He's off to a slow start this April. And tonight,
called strike 3, back-to-back called strikeouts for Garcia.
Austin Barnes.
He does a fantastic job. Garcia does pitching to both sides of the plate. Frustrated, Yasiel Puig is walking off. Starts out on the outside corner, maybe got a little help on the outside corner, but went right at him with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. As you heard me say a little earlier in the broadcast, don't miss your pitch. Plain and simple. He gave you 93 right down the middle of the plate. You fouled it off. Dialed up. 86 slider inside corner. Strike 3. It's back-to-back strikeouts.
Wasn't happy with the call, but I'm sure Garcia was. It looked to us as though strike 3 was in there. A ball and no strikes to Austin Barnes, who's at second base tonight. He takes a called strike, 1-1. And I guess that's kind of the story, whether it's Garcia or any of the other starters or the whole pitching staff, really, for the Marlins. You've got to be aggressive in the zone.
Walks are a nightmare at the major league level. It's hard to get youth sometimes to understand that, especially when there's contact, and at times hard contact against them. Typically they'll steer off the plate. Paul, it's a good point, certainly one that has been preached from Juan Nieves on down to not only the starters but the bullpen, limiting these walks. You've got to go at big league hitters.
Ball and 2 strikes to Austin Barnes. Career high 102 games last year for Barnes, and he hit 289. Of course, a guy who mostly a catcher, but playing a little bit of second base this year.
This is his 34th game in his career at second base. Kind of an interesting combination, right? You don't see too many backup catchers who say, yeah, I play second base too, to pick up some starts.
Versatility. That's the buzzword around Major League Baseball. As Yadier Rivera over to first, and the inning is over. Another 1-2-3 frame. We're through 2.
during the offseason. He wanted to drop 50 pounds, and well, he came pretty close. Kemp is down 41 pounds due to revamping his diet, getting into the weight room, and it's paying off at the plate. Kemp with a 321 average to start the year. But guys, for manager Dave Roberts, he feels like you're really going to see the difference when it comes to Kemp's defense.
Jessica, thanks. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we joked about it before about, oh, is he in the best shape of his life? It's one of those phrases we hear every year right around mid-February as guys are starting to report to camp. And, oh, this guy lost 10 pounds. He bulked up with 15 more pounds of muscle, whatever it is. But that's a big number. And that was, as you said before, Todd, something that was maybe a bit of a career saver for Matt Kemp.
I agree. I think that's where this is going. Matt was probably in, listen, he probably would have found a big league job somewhere. This guy can hit. But his game had changed. Not that he's a complete power and speed guy any longer. But Kemp, he needed to get in better shape, and the numbers don't lie. His actual straight-ahead speed has improved so much. He basically went from one of the worst defenders in the game of baseball to a league-average outfielder, a league-average left fielder. That's huge improvement. Think about it. I mean, you climbed over half of the pool, right?
That's right. JT Realmuto fouled that one back. It is 0-2. Realmuto, Starlin Castro, and Brian Anderson due up here in the top of the third for the Marlins. Scoreless ball game. Paul Severino, Todd Hollandsworth with you. Thanks so much for staying up late as the Marlins are out on the West Coast for the first time in 2018. This is a ground ball too short. Kike Hernandez over to first, and Realmuto is retired for the first out.
Hey Marlins fans, now you can stream games live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by T-Mobile. Download the app and take Fox Sports Florida and Marlins baseball wherever you go.
Starlin Castro singled back in the first inning. Was left on base as Walker Buehler was able to wiggle around a bases loaded 2-out situation. Keep the Marlins off the board. His 53rd pitch in his first big league start. It's fouled straight back.
Well, no sense of panic from Buehler. Back to the trouble he got himself in the first inning. I thought maybe he might abandon a few of his secondary pitches. He stayed with it, to his credit. You throw 98, you feel like at times maybe you should just throw 98 the whole time, right? Blow it by, guys.
Chopped up the middle. He's going to get to it again. Spins and throws. Got him. That's already twice for Kike Hernandez. Did that to take away a hit from Miguel Rojas. This one right behind the second base bag. Nearly identical.
Now some serious topspin on both balls. Hernandez anticipating that topspin. You see how he kind of fields the ball behind his body, which allows him to gain momentum. Watch, see? That's where he grabs the momentum as he gets back up onto his feet and makes the strong throw. Back-to-back plays. Good reads and good plays defensively behind Buehler.
Well, if you're going to give a guy who won the Rookie of the Year and is always in the mix, at least in the last couple of years, for an MVP, Corey Seager, if you're going to give him the night off, you better bring it. And defensively to this point, Kike Hernandez has done exactly that. The 1-0 to Brian Anderson is in there for a called strike.
And I think both balls very much identical. You know, that top spin where there's so much spin, it's, you know, when it hits the dirt that last time, it's almost picking up speed, and he's doing a real good job of anticipating that. Getting his body in position.
To third, Farmer. And Bellinger's able to take that round to the baseline to retire Anderson. A 1-2-3 third for Walker Buehler. Still scoreless in LA. The third, Kyle Farmer, Walker Buehler, and the top of the order, Chris Taylor, due up for the Dodgers. Called strike to the third baseman, Kyle Farmer. 1 for 5 when he last played, but that was about a week or so ago. So getting his first start in a while as they sprinkle around different playing time, give a couple of guys days off, or a day off rather.
Well, they've had a carousel of third basemen in Justin Turner's absence. He had his hand broken in spring training. Kendall Graveman got him. A small displaced fracture, and I think he's, reports have him about a week away from hitting off a tee. So they've had a variety of different individuals over at third base, but none have come close to the production of Justin Turner. In fact, I saw a note, we'll leave the numbers out of it, just the bottom of the barrel across the board.
Well,
there's been about 5 or 6 guys. There's no reason to itemize it, if you know what I mean.
I hear you. Farmer can't hold up, and that's another strikeout. It's 3 for Harlan Garcia, one away here in the third.
Walker Buehler.
And again, in fairness, Justin Turner is on the short list of best third basemen in Major League Baseball. And yeah, he actually had to have a little meeting with the media because there were some incorrect reports that he had already been hitting off the tee. So he had to go ahead and clarify that miscommunication. That was on Friday. He did, however, say that it's getting better every day. It's been a good week as far as the range of motion and pain tolerance, but he's not quite there yet. And to think that this Dodgers lineup can get better, again, they're just 10-10. It's not like they're knocking the cover off the ball, but the bottom line is they're not 100% healthy at the moment. But when they are, they will be up there with certainly the likes of the big offenses across Major League Baseball, American or National League.
I think the Dodgers are really aware of what's going on right now. I think those questions get asked of Turner when you look back and you say, oh, well, we're 4.5 games behind the Arizona Diamondbacks, the National League's best team right now.
Buehler swings and misses, back-to-back strikeouts. That's 4, 2 away. Check out All You Can Eat Saturday next homestand, starting at just $30. You get a ticket to the ball game, unlimited Nathan's hot dogs, popcorn, peanuts, nachos, and Pepsi soft drinks or Aquafina water. Enjoy these ballpark favorites when the Marlins play the Rockies on Saturday, April 28th at 7:10. Buy your tickets today at marlins.com/AYCE. So 4 strikeouts for Garcia. And here is Chris Taylor, who takes a ball. Taylor walked back in the first inning. That's the only base runner that has been allowed to this point by Garcia. One and one. I know we're in the bottom of the third with 2 outs, but before we get too far into the start here for Garcia, a couple of nuggets coming off of his last start. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, only 4 active pitchers have made consecutive starts with at least 5 shutout innings and 1 or no hits. Max Scherzer, Chris Sale, Matt Harvey, Rich Hill, and Harlan Garcia in his last 2 starts. There's Rich Hill. And people say we sound alike.
Huh? Well, I just thought that was you inside my head.
2 and 2 to Chris Taylor. We've done that a couple times. That just, you know what that means, though? That means we're on the same page.
It's true.
That's all that means. I take that as a positive.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Rich Hill on the disabled list for the Dodgers right now, dealing with blister and nail problems, as he seems like he always is.
And when guys deal with that, it never goes away. Ever. They deal with it their entire career. Dave Roberts calling up the youngster Walker Buehler in Rich Hill's absence today. A called strike 3 as Garcia strikes out the side here in the third. He's got 5 strikeouts. Still scoreless here in LA. Hollinsworth, Harlan Garcia back there behind Justin Bohr and Adrisimir Despaigne. He struck out 5 of the last 6 batters that he has faced as he continues to impress overall, especially as a starting pitcher in this his 3rd big league start for Walker Buehler. Tonight is his first. Cameron Maben takes low. 2 balls and no strikes. Maben, Shuck, and Brinson 5, 6, and 7 to up for the Marlins.
Maben a nice at bat his first time up with a walk.
Off the glove of Grandal, in on the hands. Trying to figure out what that was.
Oh, he knew what it was. He just didn't know where it was going. That's like, what? 98. Look out.
Here comes the 3-0. So outside of, maybe Brian Anderson, who I talked about before, maybe having seen him, when a club and offense hasn't seen a pitcher before except for video, who's got the advantage?
Well, the pitcher has the advantage. You typically see, well, much like what you see that first time through the lineup. The second time through the lineup is really the test. Now, he may make some mistakes out of the plate. You certainly like to see your hitters take full advantage, but hitting is about knowledge, Paul.
And that is through for a base hit. Time now for the Toyota inside look. First Dodger starts for Sandy Koufax. He walked 8. Turned out to have a pretty good career though. Don Sutton had 7 strikeouts. Fernando Mania back in 1981. Oral Hershiser, part of the Sportsnet LA telecast, not here tonight, however. 6 strikeouts in his. Hideo Nomo had 7, and that Clayton Kershaw guy, who we'll see on Wednesday.
That's pretty amazing.
There's Fernando right there. And you're familiar with him. It's Clayton Kershaw. He of like 63 Cy Young awards. Matchup his last time out against Max Scherzer. Scherzer got the best of him.
Well, the Marlins will see him on Wednesday.
That's right. Trevor Richards gets the start. 0-1 to J.B. Shuck, who squares but spins away from ball one. Shuck struck out to end the first inning. Well, here's the thing. The Marlins have 3 hits to this point. They could have 5. They could have a different set of circumstances, a rally or 2 going. If not for Enrique Hernandez, who has taken away 2 what I would have considered surefire hits up the middle on plays that were nearly identical. Pounding balls going up the middle. He kind of stabbed at him, grabbed it, spun around and threw. 2 close plays at first, taking away 2 hits. Fly ball out to Kemp in left. Moves toward the line and puts that one away for out number 1. And now a message from FPL.
At FPL, we're using technology to help us keep reliability high and bills low. That's how we're changing the current.
Lewis Brinson now called out on strikes back in the 2nd inning as they get a check on Maben. So we talked about it before. Again, the home runs, they're great. There have certainly been some strikeouts here. So you look at the strikeout totals and then you look at the home run totals as Maben is on the go and the throw is on the money. Maben call out at second base by the umpire Joe West. A strike from Yasmani Grandal, 2 away.
Buehler, as the scouting report says, can be tough to run on. He's a good athlete. He's quick to home plate. You see the strong throw. Grandal right on the money. Bang, bang play.
And you know a guy like Barnes, who's a catcher by trade, not going to be afraid of contact.
He was catching that baseball, wasn't he?
Not at all.
Right.
But for Brinson, the home runs, the strikeouts, where do you kind of see where he's at right now?
Listen, certainly love the adjustments that he's made. We've talked about his hands and how they move. You see him kind of fiddling with it when he feels like he might even be getting a little bit long. We've talked about the timing on the leg. To me, it really just comes down to some of the obvious things that you understand as basic principles of hitting. When you get your pitch, don't miss your pitch. When you get your pitch, put your best swing on it. Make it be a line drive somewhere. You can't constantly sell out to 110%. And I know in today's day and age, we talk about this and the big swing and all the home runs that we see these young kids doing. They're fun. But at some point, it's got to translate into production where contact is happening between the lines and the ball is being put in play. You can't swing big and just be okay with, foul ball after foul ball and then look to defend the rest of the at-bat. Strikeouts are going to come. These are big league pitchers. This is big league velocity. Real nice at-bat there.
Third walk for Walker Buehler. And that will bring up Yadiel Rivera. How many pitches did Brandon Belt foul off yesterday?
21.
21. Well, it was 21 pitch at bat. He fouled off 16 pitches, I think it was.
13, I believe.
13. That at bat took 12 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yes. Well, listen, I couldn't help it. I mean, obviously, everybody wants a hitter's mind. That's clearly what I possess. You think, boy, how did that not end in a base hit? How did he not have? He was still the star of the game offensively.
Right. More on that in a bit as Farmer goes across the diamond to get Rivera. We are through 3.5 here in LA. Scoreless. Clinic. Stiff joints, aches and pains. Trust Cleveland Clinic, Florida, the #1 orthopedic care in Florida. By the Coral Springs Auto Mall, across the street from the Coral Square Mall. We make it easy. And by La Lechonera, the original mojo since 1970. There's a look at Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. Always nice to hang out in this beautiful city that you know quite a bit about. Nice to be back, or what?
It is. It's good to be back. Although it's been a long road trip, I'm real excited to get home and see the family. I know we've got a few more days here, hopefully a few more wins for this Marlins team. It's been a tough road trip, but listen, they're hanging in there. Their top guy on the mound, Harlan Garcia's done a real nice job so far.
Well, he's set the tone, and he's been terrific to this point. Still has not allowed a hit, and it seems as though we sound like a broken record every fifth day when this guy goes out there. He just refuses to give up hits as a starting pitcher.
Right, and you know, we talk about Buehler coming into tonight's start. There's some similar circumstances, and we're ranting and raving about 91 mile-an-hour sliders, 96 mile-an-hour fastballs. How about Harlan Garcia in the command and the control? I love it. Listen. He keeps doing this, I can promise you that the results are going to continue to come. I've watched his fastball command. It is on the corner every time. When there's a few pitches out over the plate, yeah, maybe you say at times he's getting away with a little bit, but he's not living there. And even when he is, down or 2-1, 3-1 pitch, it's on the corner. I mean, he's just done a nice job using all three pitches and making pitcher pitches. Times we watch players and pitchers all the time. They say, all right, I'm down 3-1, here it comes. Boom. Well, as a hitter, you're telling yourself, bring it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. You're coming to my spot. Well, what's Harlan doing? I mean, how many times have we seen tonight a Dodger hitter turn around and look back? And that's the borderline pitches that they start to question.
Well, excuse me swing there from Enrique Hernandez. After Hernandez, Matt Kemp and Cody Bellinger here in the fourth inning. Well, I guess it's what's fascinating about Garcia is that, I'm sure it's easier said than done, but the rest of the pitching staff could take a page out of this book. Again, to this point, right? 2 outings in relief before he got his 2 starts, and then tonight. That first outing was 6 innings, 1 hit out of the pen in that 17-inning game on the second night of the season. So that was basically a start. Lengthwise, the amount of pitches he threw, and the whole 9 yards, and then he comes out and he works 4 innings out of the pen and he gives up 4 hits. Okay, so he's human. But then there was the 6 innings of hitless ball. And, obviously Don Mattingly was controversial. Why did he take him out of the game? Matched a career long in innings, a career high in pitches, so it made all the sense in the world for the long term. Then he piggybacks that start with the start in New York. Against that potent Yankee offense. He keeps them off the board for his 5 innings of work. Yeah, he walked 5, but if you're going to give up base runners, that's still 1 base runner an inning. As Hernandez flies this one out to deep left center field. Hit well and over the wall. Well, Enrique Hernandez, a one-man wrecking crew on offense and defense tonight. His 3rd home run makes it 1-0.
Hernandez got a pitch to his liking on a 3-2 count. Garcia throwing lots of strikes. This ball gets to the inside corner. It's actually a really good swing at 93 on the inside part of the plate. I think the pitch before it, this was actually set up. You have to give credit to the hitter here. Garcia went changeup away, threw it for a strike. He fouled it off. He was actually covering both sides.
100th career RBI comes on his 31st career home run. And it gives the Dodgers a 1-0 lead here in the 4th inning. And Kemp swings and misses 1-1. So I guess what I was saying before we got to the home run is Kemp sends it out to center field. Brinson is back on the track and he pulls it in for the first out. Yeah, we always talk about whip. What's this guy's whip? What's that guy's whip? If it's at 1, it's good. Well, last time when he walked 5, he didn't give him any hits. Whip was 1. Anyway, Marlins fans, be sure to tune in to Marlins Live, the pregame show before the next game, presented by your South Florida Honda dealers. Jessica Blaylock live here from Los Angeles. And our good buddy, Todd Hollingsworth, going to sit down with his mentor right there, Tim Wallach. And a preview of Dylan Peters and Kenta Maeda in the middle game of a 3-game series here in Los Angeles.
I think Marlins fans will really enjoy that conversation. I had, Tim was my mentor. He, when I was a young man and I came up, and Tim had been in the league, he had an incredible career. His years in Montreal, was here in Los Angeles, and doing a fantastic job here. Tommy Lasorda put me next to him in the clubhouse and said, listen to him, like, don't talk, you just listen to what Tim tells you for a year. You've got nothing to say, we'll let you know if we want you to speak. It's kind of like one of those things. And so, yeah, I mean, Tim was kind of like my older brother in my first year in the big leagues. And I think with this Marlins team, it's just such a unique dynamic where you have so many young players trying to find their way. And you go from a AAA stadium to Chavez Ravine like tonight, and you say, wow, how do you not just, become overly nervous or captivated with everything you're taking in?
Bellinger with a foul ball that will reach the seats behind the dugout. So, yeah, I mean, we'll look forward to that. One of the more public, and I guess I say that only because of, the social media, and I know that the Marlins Instagram had posted it through Philadelphia, was, Lewis Brinson and Cameron Maben have kind of, struck up that little mentorship type friendship sort of thing. As the 2-2 to Bellinger, swing and a miss. That's the 6th strikeout. And there are 2 away here in the 4th inning.
Doesn't this tell us an awful lot about Garcia after giving up the leadoff home run to Hernandez? Right back at Kemp, long fly ball out, going after Bellinger. Look at the uncertainty in that swing, just trying to foul it off. Down to the front side, out in front. Frustrating at bat for Bellinger. Great pitch by Garcia. Cut fastball, slider off that outside corner.
Yasmani Grandal, who struck out in the 2nd inning. But I would imagine that you need someone to guide you through.
You need somebody to help you breathe. It's probably the best way so everybody understands it. You're so overwhelmed. Everything about your career, is summed up every day you put the uniform on, and then you have these moments where, you're out there trying to hit, a big league pitcher in front of 40,000 people over and over and over again, and you're going to have ups and downs and goods and bads, and you're thinking, I got in this to win, I got in this to to win it, to make money. I mean, there's a million reasons why you're living your dream.
Grandal aces one, foul down the left field line. Been a couple of those tonight.
I'll tell you what, this may be just as close as the JT Real Muto's in inning number 1. Let's take another look.
Yeah, just about. I mean, it was foul.
I'm just going to be quiet. I got nothing to say.
Wow.
After the first inning, I'm done. Hey, man, I sold out. I went all in right away. I've got no chips left.
I was with you. What a 2 to Grandal, who takes low and away. A leadoff home run for Kike Hernandez in this 4th inning. Long fly ball off the bat of Matt Kemp. Strikeout of Cody Bellinger. And a little excuse me looper out to short, barehanded by Rivera. My goodness. Well, both shortstops putting on a display here in Los Angeles. Now for this moment in Marlins history, presented by Geico, Livan Hernandez, a complete game 9-hitter, had his first career home run. When you get 9 hits in 9 innings, you know what they call that? Scattering. That's scattering. But he connected on his first career home run on this date in Marlins history. Paul Severino, Todd Hollinsworth back with you. It is a 1-0 lead for the Dodgers. They have just 1 hit, but it was a loud one. Enrique Hernandez with a solo home run to give the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. So we go to the top of the 5th. Harlan Garcia to lead things off, squares to bunt, pulls it back and takes ball 1 after Garcia. Top of the lineup for the Marlins, Miguel Rojas and JT Realmuto. We've seen him be aggressive tonight against Walker Buehler, huh?
Squared around on the first pitch again. It worked. It worked in his favor. Harlan's putting together at bats like he's done this before.
I'm going to shy away from this guy.
Absolutely not.
Got more dirt in my spikes than you do, young man. My 3rd big league start. You in your 1st? A ball and 2 strikes to the Marlins pitcher and leadoff hitter here in the 5th. As that one misses low, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Tell you what, Garcia's strike zone recognition has been outstanding as a hitter tonight. He's taken a couple of tough borderline pitches.
Looking for the first out here in the 5th. This summer, the World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th only on Fox and FS1. That strikeout the 5th of the night for Walker Buehler. Back to the top of the order for Miguel Rojas, who had a hit in his last at bat, if not for the shortstop Enrique Hernandez, who went up the middle to take away a hit. Did the exact same thing to Starlin Castro an inning later.
Rojas a couple of ground ball outs.
Buehler approaching 80 pitches. Sounded like the plan was, what, 6 and 90-ish, somewhere in there. 6 innings, 90-ish pitches. So far, he's just surrendered the 3 hits. A little help from his defense behind him as well. But again, this is a guy who made 3 starts in Oklahoma City, AAA affiliate of the Dodgers, before getting the call to fill in for the injured Rich Hill in this one. 3-1 now to Rojas. And in those 3 starts in Oklahoma City, he was superb. 1-0 with a 2.08 ERA, and hitters were hitting 2.04 against him. Rojas thought that was down. The count runs full.
Some communication from Rojas. Home plate. Thought it was down.
Payoff pitch coming to second base. Knocked down over there by Barnes. Plenty of time to recover. And there are 2 away. Here are tonight's Toyota Trends. He's got a hit in all 11 career games at Dodger Stadium, does JT Realmuto. 368 average. And I would imagine that there are just, as my old buddy Dan Plesac would like to say, horses for courses. Some places you just like to hit, huh?
JT talked about it. Good hitting backdrop. He loves the lively crowd here at Dodger Stadium.
Here's another.
Shocker.
Base hit is second of the ball game.
Clearly felt the energy in the building before that base hit.
Absolutely. Palpable.
I'll go with the hitting backdrop on that one.
Did you have a play? We don't have to look at the numbers. We could to see if
feel and real are the same, but did you have a place where you just really felt comfortable?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Some stadiums around. I loved hitting in San Diego. A lot of guys didn't used to love hitting. For whatever reason, I mean, I can give you a laundry list of places that were good. Other places, sometimes it's just built around confidence. And then, you know, you play 7 or 8 years and you start to look around, you're like, oh boy, we're going there. And that's, you know, on this trip, I never hit there. You start talking yourself into it. I remember a few times, you know, being along, you know, in my career, certain parks that I didn't hit well. And when I did, you know, maybe on that particular day, I was like surprised.
Yeah.
And why would I be surprised, right? I mean, you've been practicing your trade. You had a good night at the plate. But again, you get into the psychology of the game of baseball. I couldn't hit in Pittsburgh. I couldn't hit in the old building. I couldn't hit in the new building. That's when PNC was new. I mean, no matter what happened, I couldn't hit there for whatever reason. San Diego, didn't matter where it was. Stadium, I could hit in San Diego.
There's a marine layer there, too.
Doesn't matter.
My Coors, I think you hit 349 at Coors.
Yeah, I try not to go there.
Why, it's too
that
easy.
conversation.
Low-hanging fruit, is that why?
You said Coors, right?
Yeah,
Me and everybody else that's played, right? I mean, it's like every big leaguer.
Yeah, he had a 3-homer game.
I did, right. I understood. I'm not taking anything away from myself.
Listen,
but I mean, when you ask me that question, like, that's the last answer I want to give you is like Coors Field, because everybody said when you played the big leagues, of course you liked Coors.
Right. Okay. Here, put it this way. You could have hit 175 there.
Well, I suppose you're right,
You know what
but
I mean?
that's just that's almost not possible.
I could hit 200 there.
Well, it's kind of what I'm getting at, especially
okay.
when my era before the humidor, it was a different ballpark. I mean, you played with balls that would sit at at altitude for long periods of time, and they would the moisture in the ball, the humidity that is everywhere else except at a 5,280 feet above sea level.
Right.
Did affect the baseballs. There's no doubt about it. We said this all the time. It's like we were playing with cue balls. Ball flew everywhere we were going.
2-2 to Castro. Real Muto on the run, grounded right to Barnes for the final out here in the 5th. Walker Buehler, 5 strong innings in his first big league start. He's got a 1-0 lead. Moment in 1999 on August 17th, A.J. Burnett in his big league debut here at Dodger Stadium, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run. Where did that 1 run come from? Oh, this guy. Look at that.
We must be locked in a pitcher's duel tonight here at Dodger Stadium. You're going into the archives.
No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with the pitcher's duel. We're in L.A. I mean, this is where the greatest hits were recorded, right?
Well, the scouting report on AJ as he was making his way to the big leagues was 97, 99 with a good hammer.
Yasiel Puig swings at the first pitch, lines it out to center field, sends Brinson back in front of the track. One pitch, one out here in the fifth.
Number 50, Austin Barnes.
You mentioned that they are an aggressive group, this Los Angeles Dodgers club. Swung at the first pitch a number of times tonight. But the only blemish for Harlan Garcia, the home run to lead off the fourth off the bat of Kike Hernandez.
What we've seen from Garcia as he's worked his way around the strike zone, I mean, right on the edges or just off, is that you start to get a little wiggle room out there. You stay there, and umpire's going to fall for that. Miss by an inch or two away, you can still pick up strikes. Garcia's been outstanding. He's lived on the edges all night long.
Well, that's the thing. And again, I've never towed the slab at the big league level. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But it would seem to me that you don't have to worry about missing bats as much as you need to worry about missing the barrel. You can get soft contact. I mean, for the most part, this is a very good defensive infield. They can pick it up. So let them do their work. And by doing that, obviously, you could also throw strikes and not issue walks. And there's only walked one tonight.
Certainly gets to the command of all three pitches, and we've seen it many times, especially with the right-handed hitters. The change-up away, the fastball in, and then even reversing the sequencing.
Line a base hit in the right center field. Austin Barnes hustling around first, heading towards second. Here is the throw, and it was just a bit high. Rivera had to go up to get it. Hustling right out of the box with a double is Barnes.
Now hustling out of the box, as you said, Paul, all the way. Well, Brinson had to retreat just a bit. That ball was hit so hard, gave up a couple of extra steps. Strong throw back to the infield, but that's what he took advantage of. You see Barnes hustling all the way, quick turnaround first base. He's reading how well Brinson gets the ball off, picks it up, and then gets it back in.
Barnes on at second with his second double of the year. Kyle Farmer is at the plate, and Max Muncy out in the on-deck circle for Walker Buehler. So his night might be over. Line right to Anderson, who was able to make the play on the transfer, bobbled it, but corralled it nonetheless, and there are two away.
That will be that. Nice job by Anderson. He was thinking about a strong throw to second base. Hold the handle. Big second out. Trying to keep things close. That's going to be it for Buehler.
Terrific outing in his first big league start. And he gets through the 5 requisite innings for a victory. But in a one-run game, a long way away from that. Muncy takes a look at strike one. 5 innings, 4 hits, and 5 strikeouts for Walker Buehler. Max Muncy part of that third base carousel in the absence of Justin Turner. Check on Barnes. Muncy was 0 for 3 with a strikeout in last night's ball game.
He's working his way out of a little bit of a slump. A home run on Wednesday, a 2-run shot for his last 12. See the final line on Buehler. 89 pitches. We mentioned it. 90, 5 Ks, 5 innings. Came as advertised. I think what impressed me the most, the poise in the first inning. Could very well have come unglued, unraveled. Just a couple of hits and a walk. Loaded the bases. He made pitches.
Garcia looking to do the same as Ross Stripling. Loosens in the Dodgers bullpen. The 1-1 to Muncy. A little off, swings through that one, and the count now 1-2. I know you don't run the Dodgers, but did Buehler give you enough to warrant that start coming up this weekend?
I think so. He's impressive. You know, the one thing that I was kind of curious to see is if he would unravel at any point if he started to lose his command, and he didn't. That's what the Dodgers want to see in a year where they're going to control his innings and certainly control his starts. You clearly see a lot more value. Remember, if he's going to throw 140 or 150 innings, say, for Dave Roberts here or in AAA and here, the combination, the idea is that you want him to be available maybe in September. You don't want to be getting to the point of shutdown, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's the delicate balance, and that's not something that sneaks up on pitching coaches, on organizations. Like, oh, this guy's going really good. Uh-oh, it's August, and he's, let's say 150 is the number. He's got 125.
Well, yeah, but it's the Steven Strasburg factor. It's been in effect for about, what, 4 or 5 years now, ever since they, the Nationals shut him down that season right before the playoffs.
1-2 here to Muncy. Swing and a miss. And that's another strikeout. 7 for Harlan Garcia through 5 innings of work. 1-0 Dodgers here in LA.
Bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th for Didi Gregorius, who sends this one to right center. Grand slam for Didi, who continues his hot start to the year. Guys, Yankees hit a total of 4 home runs in that game. They beat the Twins by a final of 14-1.
Thank you, Jessica. And that man right there shut them down his last time out. He has just about shut down the Dodgers to this point. The only blemish, the home run off the bat of Enrique Hernandez, a solo home run. So Garcia's been good to this point. Walker Buehler was terrific in his first 5 innings in his first big league start, but there is the line there on Garcia at 73 pitches, still very efficient.
Well, he's been aggressive. I mean, he continues to get better with each start. I say that with the idea that I'm not sure what better is any longer. I mean, his last start against the Yankees was awesome. Tonight seems as though he's been even better.
Certainly a good sign for the Marlins as Brian Anderson takes ball 1. Anderson, Maben, and Shuck due up against Ross Stripling here in inning number 6. And so interesting, as we talked a couple of starts ago, right, about Harlan Garcia, who starts tonight. And there was this big uproar about, oh my goodness, he's being taken out of the ball game. 6 no-hit innings. What is Don Mattingly doing? Well, you know what? Managers do that. Dave Roberts did that to this pitcher, in fact. He had a no-hitter after 7 1/3 innings back in April of 2016. 100 pitches, no hitter, Dodgers, Giants, and Dave Roberts comes out and takes him out of the ballgame. And then afterwards, Ross Stripling's dad thanked Dave Roberts for doing that, for protecting his son. And even Stripling at the time said, yeah, I was tired. I didn't have enough. So, again, not to beat a dead horse here, but that's kind of it. I mean, that's the manager's job. It's not to win over the fans, so to speak. It's not to appease the writers, so to speak. No. It's to make sure that his guys are out there in 5 days.
And you're right around what makes every great manager. The players' respect. And at the end of it all, the 25 guys in the room that he's responsible for, if he has their respect, you're going to get good results. It may not translate necessarily into all the wins and losses and, you know, talking about it that way, but you're going to get the most from your guys. And Dave Roberts is clearly getting that with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I don't believe that there's any doubt in that room, the job that he's done since coming on board.
Another walk drawn by Brian Anderson. And now a message from FPL.
At FPL, we're using technology to help us keep reliability high and bills low. That's how we're changing the current.
Paul Severino, Todd Hollandsworth back with you again. Thanks for staying up late on the East Coast as the Dodgers and the Marlins play the first of a 3-game series here in Los Angeles. Our only trip to LA this year. Maben squares, pulls it back and takes a strike.
Nice night for Cameron. Walk his first time up, a base hit his second time, so on twice. Marlins would love to get some offense going. Stripling has done a variety of things for the Los Angeles Dodgers last season. 3-5, 3.75 ERA. This is 2017 numbers. Picked up a few saves, made a few starts. It's kind of the Dodgers version of Odrisamer Despaigne. So far this season, solid numbers across the board. 12 strikeouts, 11+ innings.
Ball and a strike to Maben, who takes a big swing. And it's 1-2. Ron Guerrero begins to loosen. Let's see if Garcia's night is over or not. If it all depends on whether or not his spot comes up in a rally situation. This is kind of where it gets a little tough. They check no swing 2-2. It's where it gets a little tough in the National League, right? Tight game, middle innings, your starters going well. But you don't know how many chances you're going to get.
This may be a good advantage, little advantage, I should say, for the Marlins. Now, Stripling's arsenal is very similar to Buehler's. He doesn't possess the high velocity fastball.
Maybe pops this one up right side toward the line. Here comes Puig. He can't get there, but it falls in foul.
Marlins have tried a few different times down this line. For a moment there, Puig thought he had it maybe a little bit more convincingly and then accelerated there towards the end, unable to come up with it. New life for Maben. Getting back to the arsenal of Stripling. Fastball, curveball, slider change, as we mentioned earlier, same as Buehler. Doesn't throw as hard. Got the big breaking ball, 12-6. Similar mechanics. Just different velocity on the pitches.
Anderson at first after the walk. Here's the pitch to Cameron Maben. Sends it out to center field. A step in, a couple of steps back, and Chris Taylor puts it away for the first out here in the 6th.
Right fielder, J.B. Shuck.
Well, I know we've talked a lot about it, and clearly for good reason. The walks from Brian Anderson. The most that a Marlins rookie has ever had in the first month of a season. So even if he's not getting the hits, he's still getting on base, as Shuck is unable to hold up there. 0-1.
Shuck may try to pull something in the hole. He's got Anderson at first. Bellinger holding him on. He's got the hole open to the right side. Dodgers playing him straight up.
Shuck a strikeout and a flyout in this one as he comes up empty there. 0-2. And the Dodgers coming off a series against the Washington Nationals in which they won the last 2 games, and in doing so they had to use Kenley Jansen in back-to-back nights. So not exactly sure of his availability. I would think in April he wouldn't be available in 3 consecutive outings. Tiny sigh of relief, but not much. Still a good bullpen here. There's Kenley Jansen. Been dealing with some mechanical issues to this point in the season, but last night against the Nats looked pretty good. It's away from Brandall a little bit, but no advance.
He's got the cutter. Kenley. He's missing a little velocity. I think that's what everybody's been buzzing about. Interesting to see if they use him tonight. That would be pitching on 3 consecutive days. Dave Roberts may shy away from him, but we'll see. Still a 1-run ball game.
Chopped right side. Bellinger fields, throws to second for 1. They get the lead runner. And they're 2 away here in the 6th.
Center fielder Lewis Brinson.
Slow roller to the right side off the bat of Shuck. Bellinger be able to go with the flow of where that ground ball is. Really his only play is to second base. In fact, anticipates it. Nice job. Gets rid of it. No chance on Shuck flying down the line.
That is a perfect example why it's so nice to be a left-handed throwing first base.
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of, as I was stammering through my words there, really just talking about the flow that a lefty has on that play, right? A righty's got to square his shoulders, almost cross up his feet in order to get square.
Good swing there by Brinson. A walk and a strikeout for him tonight. 0-for-1. That was against Walker Buehler, now facing Ross Stripling, 5th-round pick in 2012 out of Texas A&M. Last year, Buehler pitched in 49 games, made 2 starts, had a 9 strikeout per 9 rate. This year he's at 9.5. And Brinson went around for Stripling's first strikeout in this one. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning here in Los Angeles. Marlins still down 1-0. there at Santa Monica Pier, one of the many landmarks around Los Angeles. Beautiful night, a little chilly. It's about 60 degrees, but I think we'll take it. Still 20 degrees warmer than it was in Milwaukee. As we give you our Florida Lottery in-game jackpot. Fewest hits per 9 innings this season. Harlan Garcia at the top of that list. He has surrendered only 2 in this ball game. Both extra base hits. 1 a home run for Kike Hernandez and 1 a double for Austin Barnes. But once again, for the 3rd consecutive start, he has kept the Marlins in the ball game. It's just a matter of whether or not they can push across a run. Top of the order due up here for the Dodgers. Chris Taylor in the box now. The aforementioned Hernandez and then Matt Kemp. As Taylor sends it out to center field. Brinson with plenty of room for the first out. 1-0 Dodger lead thanks to this man, Enrique Hernandez.
Well, and good at bat as well. 3-2 pitch. He fouled off a couple tough pitches, including a changeup away at 83 miles an hour prior to that fastball. And as you see, just enough to get it out.
So on a night where Dave Roberts gives Corey Seager a day off, he only had one other day off this year for Seager. So you give Seager the day off, you put Hernandez in there, you hope, well, all right, just don't mess up the furniture. And he has done nothing but help this team. 2 amazing defensive plays to take away hits up the middle. And the solo home run accounting for the only offense of the night. Balls and no strikes from Garcia, as that's in there for a called strike. 2-1.
That's a really good example of what's made Harlan Garcia so good early going this year. 2-0 pitch. Hernandez up, 84 mile an hour changeup. Now it wasn't just center cut. It was at the bottom of the zone, in a little bit, a little running action.
Well, I'm looking at how StatCast breaks down the pitches and the usage thus far, so it might be off a pitch or 2 as it updates here, but he's thrown the changeup 28% of the time, the slider 22% of the time, the fastball 50% of the time. So he's mixing up his pitches quite a bit.
Well, I've said this a few times through his starts in the early going, not just tonight. Whatever you're thinking as a hitter, doubt yourself and go with your second guess right now. Because he's not falling into any patterns. If you're thinking fastball, he's throwing changeup. If you're thinking changeup, he's throwing slider. If you're thinking slider, he's going fastball. It's what's going on right now. Look at this at bat right here.
And into shallow right center field, another hit for Hernandez. He's got 2 on the night. A 1-out base hit the other way.
That's the only time that Garcia has become predictable has been at the 3-2 count. Other than that, just to get back into the count, he used 2 good changeups. Get back to 2-2, and this ball up a bit.
Hernandez has certainly seen the ball well on both ends tonight, whether it be at shortstop or at the plate. 2 of the 3 hits. And 2 defensive gems. That'll bring up Matt Kemp, 1-on-1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Talked earlier about the offseason for Matt Kemp and how he dropped 40 pounds. 33 years old, originally a 6th round pick of the Dodgers back in 2003. Finished 2nd in the National League MVP voting in 2011. That was the year that Ryan Braun won the award. But that was also the year that Kemp led Major League Baseball in runs, home runs, and RBIs. So I know that there were a lot of folks thinking that he could have been the MVP that year. But since then, it's been a bit of a different road for Matt Kemp. And he just continues to hit here in 2018 through the left side to improve on what was a .309 batting average. 2 on and 1 out here in the 6th.
Back-to-back singles for the Dodgers. Well, we shouldn't be surprised at Matt Kemp getting a base hit against the lefties. Again, that's what he's done most exclusively this season. He's gotten a few more starts. He's earned them, but against the lefties now 9 for 20. So hitting .450 against lefties this year.
And now a big spot in this ball game with runners on first and second, one out. Juan Nieves is going to go out and talk with Harlan Garcia, who's up to 83 pitches right now. Guerrero continues to loosen in the bullpen.
Got Bellinger, the lefty. Communication here. Grandal on deck. Now Grandal has been hot. He's a very good fastball hitter. He's also a switch hitter.
Can I talk to you as a baseball fan for a second?
Have at it.
This is the moment that I love to see. I love to see the fact that Don Mattingly is allowing Harlan Garcia to pitch into and try to get himself out of a jam. For me, from where I sit as a fan, this is a learning moment and a chance to build up the guts that Harlan Garcia is going to need later in his career.
Well, and listen, you know, you hope at some point that you get to flip the scenario around where the Marlins are up 1-0 and you believe that without 100%, with 100% conviction, that's what you're going to get is Harlan Garcia out there for that as well. When you're behind, you certainly get it and you make sense of it. Bellinger struck out his last time up. You want to see Harlan, who's had a great night, go up against Bellinger. He had a very good at bat against him his last time. You've got Grandal on deck too.
Oh, 0-1 now to Bellinger. Takes just off the edge, 1-1. Showed you the home run that he hit off of him last year. He only hit 5 trips, including an 0 for 2 tonight, a fly out and strikeout. One of the 7 that Garcia has tonight. A little up and in there, 2-1. But like here's where we are in today's game in general in Major League Baseball. It's that third time through. We always talk about, well, you know, let's go to the bullpen third time through. The guy can't get the guy out. This is a chance for Harlan Garcia to grow. Popped up left field. Maben comes in and he gets Bellinger.
Let's take a quick look at the sequencing against Bellinger. Top of the zone, has him thinking about it, and he goes right back down with velocity. Comes back in again. Where does he go for the 4th pitch? Yeah, that's right, back outside again. And you look at Bellinger and the frustration on his face as he got under it and popped it straight up. Nice job by Harlan, working in and out. Well, this may be the biggest test of the night, as this is the Dodgers' hottest hitter right now.
As Monty Grandal takes a look at a called strike 1. Grandal tonight 0 for 2. He struck out looking in the 2nd. Grounded out to short on a play that was barehanded by Yadiel Rivera to end things in the 4th. As Hernandez is back to second base. Part of the thing that the Dodgers like about where Grandal is at right now is that he's very patient. Been waiting for his pitch. He's been doing the damage when he gets it. Dave Roberts said when he's stubborn in the strike zone, he's as good as anybody. He's carrying a .338 average into this at bat. He fouls that one away 0-2.
He's also riding an 11-game hitting streak, and again doing it from both sides of the plate. He turned into a bit of an outsider. I was thinking back to last year's playoff run, and Grandal was not getting a whole lot of playing time behind the plate. I was wondering how that was going to go over into the start of the season here with Los Angeles Dodgers. He has been their answer in a lot of ways. When you look up and down the hot hitter list on this Dodger team, it's all the old guys.
0-2 from Garcia. Grandal came over to the Dodgers in the deal that sent Matt Kemp to San Diego in 2014. Who knows if last year's October was any sort of motivating factor, but they are happy with the Grandal that they've got to begin 2018. 2-2. Pitches. His next will match the number he threw in his start in New York. Trying to get through 6. The 2-2 pitch. Out to center field. Brinson moves over. He'll catch the line drive. And 6 terrific innings for Harlan Garcia. 7 strikeouts to this point. The Marlins need a run. Down 1. Terrific ball game to this point, fun to watch, and thanks in large part to both starting pitchers, specifically Harlan Garcia. 6 innings, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Really the only blemish, the home run to Enrique Hernandez. Looks like his night is done. In fact, it officially is, as Tomas Talis will come in.
How you like round numbers. Bumped up his ERA to an even 1.
Yeah, I mean, how you doing? Talis actually hitting for Yadiel Rivera. Justin Bohr in the on-deck circle, getting set to hit for Garcia. But either way, we've reached the point in the night here where the Marlins need to get something going offensively. A little bit of pop off the bench here with Talis. You figure as he fouls one off, you figure Justin Bohr, who's in the on-deck circle, stays in the game at first, and then Rojas moves to short. But from here on out, I'll let Don Mattingly do the managing.
Well, this Marlins offense, as you mentioned, needs to get rolling. They're running out of outs. I really thought that Stripling coming into the ballgame, I know he comes in with great numbers here in 2018, sub-1 ERA. I mentioned the arsenal that he possesses. That's very similar to Buehler. I thought that might be an advantage for Marlins hitters, seeing somebody with a similar arsenal but not possessing nearly the same velocity. But a couple of hard hit balls.
Loose out to left, and Kemp will put it away for the first out here in the 7th.
The MLB Ballpark app is the perfect sidekick For your visit to Marlins Park, order food from your seats, view maps of the park, and access your tickets to get into the park. Get up-to-date offers when you register on the app. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
So here's Justin Bohr off the bench tonight. Mattingly said before the game, want to give him a day or half a day or whatever it may be. Want to focus on the defensive alignment behind Harlan Garcia. So Rivera, and that paid dividends with that barehanded play over there at shortstop. The 1-1. In there for a called strike, 1-2.
JB's had a nice road trip, 6 for 21. A couple of runs, a double, 3 RBIs. Nice day yesterday as well, 2 for 3.
Unable to hold up as he chases that one. And that's the second out here in the 7th.
Well, after going soft to the bottom of the zone, Stripling elevates with velocity and just more unable to hold up.
So back to the top of the lineup. Here is Miguel Rojas, who had a hit taken away from him back in the 2nd by Enrique Hernandez. That one in there for a called strike. Into the Dodgers dugout. Look out. Second inning of work for Ross Stripling on in relief of Walker Buehler. 5 scoreless innings in his first big league start. The top pitching prospect for the Dodgers, the top overall prospect right now for the Dodgers. The top 15 prospect across all of Major League Baseball. Lived up to the expectations tonight. Sounds as though from the Dodgers side of things that he might be back around on Saturday. Didn't do anything to upset those plans. As Rich Hill works his way back from a cracked fingernail. The 1-2. Couple of strikeouts in the inning for Stripling. 3 over his 2 innings of work. Still 1-0 here in LA. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile out in Colorado as Nolan Arenado connecting on a home run right there. However, that's his 4th of the season. It was a 13-5 victory for the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, that's a Rockies game right there. 6 runs in the first inning.
Yeah, of course.
We're going to see the Rockies on the next homestand.
That's right. 3 here against the Dodgers, a day off, and then back home, 3 against Colorado. So Justin Bour does, in fact, stay in the ball game. He moves over to first base, and in doing so, that sends Miguel Rojas back to short. And now pitching is Teheran Guerrero. So some velocity from the right side. 21 strikeouts in his 11 outings to this point. ERA of 5.73.
High velocity fastball, good slider. Things are developing for this young man. He's starting to figure things out. Follow the pattern. Last 4 outings has not given up a run. 1 strikeout, 2 strikeouts, 3 strikeouts, and 4 strikeouts. So that confidence is rising. The effectiveness is there.
Face Yasiel Puig to lead things off. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. Puig is 0 for 2 in this one. After Puig, Austin Barnes and Kyle Farmer. So yeah, that's the thing about the early part of the season. He gave up 2 runs in his first outing, did Guerrero, then a scoreless one. 2 outings in his 3rd, then a scoreless one. 2 outings in his 6th. So as a reliever, it usually takes a little time to move those numbers down a little bit when they jump up so quick. But the bottom line is the strikeouts have been there. He worked an inning in the 3rd the last time out. So that's 4 outs and 4 strikeouts. Prior to that, worked an inning in New York. That's 3 outs, 3 strikeouts. So, you know, we talked so much about Josh Hader while we were in Milwaukee. Guerrero right behind him when it comes to strikeouts per 9. Looking for another against Puig, and he finds it. Ooh. 1 out here in the 7th. Let's go downstairs to Jessica Blaylock.
Continues to impress in the Marlins starting rotation. I just had a chance to talk to Marlins pitching coach Juan Nieves about Garcia's performance tonight, and he said the thing that impressed him most, not only his confidence, but his ability to make the pitches that he needed to in critical situations, including throwing that changeup. And guys, he also agreed with you that it was a good learning opportunity for Harlan in that 6th inning with 2 runners on to get himself out of trouble. So another impressive outing for Harlan Garcia.
Jessica, thanks. That's the thing. I mean, it's been 3 great starts for Harlan Garcia.
Well, that's undeniable. But again, the learning curve and what it is, whether it's longer outings, more innings, better results, word starts to get around, Paul. And I think that to me is what's really starting to be part of his story. People know what he's doing right now. The Dodgers tonight coming in, big win for them yesterday. They're playing good baseball, 1-6-7. They've game planned against Harlan Garcia. They know how hot he's been. They've seen video. He goes out and he continues to do it. He continues to get better. He's making the adjustments in game. And that to me has been what has probably been the most impressive thing. If he's not getting calls, he's going to an alternate plan inside the at-bat or even inside the inning, and he's still getting good results. Need to go to the changeup here. Need to go to the slider here. I'm not throwing my fastball for strikes right now. And he's picking up strikes.
Swing and a miss to Barnes, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I can think of 2 times tonight that Harlan Garcia fell behind 2-0 and was able to get himself back into counts using secondary pitches. That's how you pitch. That's not just saying, okay, I'm going to try and throw it by you here. Hopefully you'll hit it at somebody.
Two to Austin Barnes is just a little upstairs at 100. I guess upstairs.
Triple digits?
Maybe out. Not sure.
It's always fun to see triple digits, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Pay attention. Should have got the call. Pitch is good.
Payoff pitch on the way. And he fights it off. And then, of course, to get back to Garcia, there's the concept of setting up hitters. You hear that all the time, too. What does that mean?
Well, first time through the lineup, you're going to give them some information on what they're going to see. They're going to get a feel for your velocity, your release point. If you get them out, the idea is that, in some regards, Garcia can go back to that pattern. But if it becomes a pattern and one that's obvious to a hitter, well, he's going to make an adjustment. If you decided to put me away with a slider low and in, I may look for a slider low and in. What he's done a very nice job of is not falling into those patterns. So sequencing second and third time through, he still hasn't maintained any kind of predictability. 3-2 walk to Barnes.
Third baseman number 17, Kyle Farmer.
So in steps Kyle Farmer, 0 for 2 tonight. Strikeout back in the third, and lined out in the fifth. Finds the outside corner at 98 miles an hour. Oh, 2. Jock Peterson has moved out into the on-deck circle for the Dodgers.
We've been talking about the development of the young pitchers tonight. Kyron Guerrero, that last slider, a great example of what he is doing so well. That slider has become a huge weapon because he's throwing it for strikes. And you watch how off balance the swings even tonight from Farmer, Puig, both went at the slider, had no way of slowing their hands down. It's almost not fair.
2 strikeouts in the inning.
Well, and in between, he dropped in a slider at 85. I mean, good luck. And again, hitters in the National League have not seen him. All right, 98 for a first pitch strike. And there's the one. That's where the swing is off balance. And then right back to the 100 miles an hour on the corner. Listen, Farmer's a good player and he's a good hitter. He's not alone. Guerrero is racking up numbers, and he will continue to rack up numbers as most hitters in the National League have not seen him. He keeps throwing strikes with both pitches, he will get results.
So here's Jock Peterson off the bench for the Dodgers. Swing and a miss. The thing about Peterson is strikeouts have always kind of been like the thing for the 26-year-old. It's gotten better. The strikeout rate in 2015 was 29%. Granted, it's only been 3 weeks this year with not a full complement of at-bats, but it's down to 13% this year.
Well, at some point, you can lower the strikeout rate all you want. You better start to perform. And
true.
What is also evaporating is his playing time.
Also true.
Because he's just not, I mean, listen, any club will tell you this. We don't mind the strikeouts if you're giving us an 810 OPS. Hit 20 home runs, drive in 80 runs, you're doing your thing. But if the home runs are coming off the board and the production's continuing to come down, even along with the strikeout rate, seems counterintuitive.
Yeah. You're not going to be out there.
Well, it's why he's pinch hitting tonight. It's why he's not playing every day. I mean, it was only a couple years ago he was an everyday player.
You get Puig out there in right basically every night. Taylor out in center basically every night. Matt Kemp is off to a terrific start. So you pair all that with a guy who's hitting 200, swinging out, striking out at 100-mile-an-hour heat from Guerrero. And there you have it. He gets 3 strikeouts in the 7th. Still 1-0. the opener. Still got 2 more left. Dylan Peters and Kenta Maeda, the 2 starting pitchers tomorrow night. Again, another late night on the East Coast. A 10-10 first pitch. Play it late afternoon here out in Los Angeles in the finale on Getaway Day. But for tomorrow night, a 10-10 first pitch. Jock Peterson stays in the ball game as he goes out to left field. The rest of the outfield stays the same. And JT Chagua comes in his 9th outing this year. A very nice ERA at 135. Opponent's hitting 174 off this young righty. So he'll face 2, 3, and 4 for the Marlins here in the 8th inning. JT Realmuto, Starlin Castro, and Brian Anderson. It's 2 innings of work for Ross Stripling. Struck out 3 along the way.
A real nice night. Swinging the bat well for JT.
Couple of hits, a place where he hits very well here in Los Angeles. He hits the Dodgers well, he hits in Los Angeles well, and he hits on the road very well.
Yeah, 318 only going up. That was before the start of tonight's ball game. That's in his career, by the way. 318.
Hit by a pitch. So the Marlins have the tying run aboard here in the 8th. They'll bring up Starlin Castro.
Number 13, Starlin Castro.
Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in your office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
1 on, nobody out for Starlin Castro, who has a hit in this ball game. Was robbed of another by Enrique Hernandez, and takes low and away. JT Chagua here in the 8th.
Chagua, the Arsenal fastball, slider, occasional changeup. He uses the slider more than the fastball. So the unorthodox release point.
On the ground to short. The flip to second for 1. High throw to first, and it goes into the Marlins dugout. The return throw from Austin Barnes, airmailed, and now Castro's on at second.
Yeah, watched a lot of this during batting practice today. Barnes taking ground balls at second base, and in fact, working on his turn, airmailed it. Lots of velocity on the turn, but lots of altitude as well.
So Castro in scoring position for Brian Anderson now. Anderson struck out in the first, grounded out in the third, and walked in the 6th.
He's at his best with runners in scoring position this season. .368.
Harlan Garcia and Teheran Guerrero have kept the Marlins in the ball game. Now it's just a matter of getting the equalizer. It currently stands at second base in the person of Starlin Castro. Up the middle, base hit center field. Here comes Castro around third. He will score, and Brian Anderson has come through with runners in scoring position again. The Marlins tie it up in the 8th.
Well, nice approach, nice swing, stayed inside the baseball. Didn't crush it. Hard ground ball back through the middle. It'll make its way into center field. Watch the swing. It's on a slider. Yeah, he didn't pull that pitch. He didn't get out around it. Tried to stay inside it, pull the hands through. He's going to get the reward. In fact, the Dodgers were betting that he would pull the ball, as you saw Hernandez deep in the hole. That's how this ball gets into center field. This game is tied.
Another big hit in a big moment for Brian Anderson. And now Cameron Maben brushed off the plate, 1-0. Maben walked in the first. He singled and was caught stealing in the fourth. Flew out to center field in the sixth inning. Anderson on the move. Here's the throw from Grandal. And Anderson's in there safely.
Love to see the aggressiveness. Nicely done. Got a great jump. Good 4 steps before the ball was on its way to home.
His first big league steal. So now he is in scoring position. And the 2-0 to Maben. 2-1. Kyle Bearclaw up in the Marlins bullpen. We get to this point in all these new ballparks now, for us at least, with you know, the new rules of the mound visits. Where do you see it? How many is that for the Dodgers? Do you see it anywhere? Mound visits remaining anywhere? We need to be on top of this. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's on the right-hand side at the bottom of the scoreboard.
There she is. Okie dokie.
In fact, the Dodgers are winning currently, 5-4.
Just want to stay on top of these things. You got to know where the count is. You got to know where the velocity is. You got to know where the mound visits remaining is. Adam Liberatore up in the pen for the Dodgers. Marlins have tied it up on an RBI single from Brian Anderson here in the 8th. And now a 3-1 to Maben. Misses low. They've got 2 on and 1 out.
Well, nice night for Maben. 3rd time on base. He laid off the slider, as I mentioned. Sugo loves to use his slider. Looks like Dave Roberts is going to take him out of the ballgame. He wanted to set up a double play opportunity.
Time for a Florida Lottery call to the bullpen. Chagua is out. Liberatore is in. Back to LA in a moment. RBI single. Got 2 on right now. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by the Florida Lottery. It's good to have options. That's why the Florida Lottery has over 70 unique scratch-off games. So add a little play to your day with these new games. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. Adam Liberator is in, appearing in his 3rd game thus far. As he comes into what is now a tie game after the Marlins have evened things up in this inning. Started with a hit by pitch. Then the fielder's choice erased him, but the error on the throw back to first, and what looked like may have been a tailor-made ground ball, got Castro into scoring position. Anderson brought him home. Maben walked, and now here is J.B. Shuck.
Liberator recalled prior to Wednesday's game.
Ground ball right side. Bellinger fields, throws to the second base bag where Kike Hernandez has to hurdle Maben. They only get the one.
Center fielder 5, Lewis Brinson.
A similar play to Shuck's last at bat. High throw. Kike Hernandez takes it. Really no chance at turning 2.
First and third, and that will bring up Lewis Brinson.
Fastball, slider, changeup. The arsenal for Liberator. 90-91 miles an hour on the fastball. Does use the slider as his primary secondary pitch.
Off the inside edge for ball 1 as Derek Dietrich is out into the on-deck circle. Terrific numbers at Dodger Stadium. What situation will he hit in? That is the question. The 1-0 to Brinson. Called strike in the lower third of the strike zone. 1-1. First matchup between these two, Liberator and Brinson. Liberator, a 21st round pick of the Rays back in 2010.
Shuck good speed at first.
Brinson down the right field line, and that one will hook into the seats. 1-2. Liberator, the 4th pitcher of the Dodgers tonight. Walker Buehler in his first big league start went the first 5. Ross Stripling worked the 6th and the 7th. JT Chagua began this inning. And now Liberator. Slap to the right side. Barnes fields, throws, close play at first base. Now the Marlins might want to take a closer look at this. Looks like there's not much to look at. Close play at first nonetheless. Todd Hollinsworth. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Kike Hernandez has done amazing things on the defensive end today. That's why he's got the catch of the day, brought to you by Bonefish Grill.
Well, I think the first one was the appetizer. Ooh. That's dinner right there.
Well, then what was the home run? The main course? Dessert?
You don't get points for offense. It's the fresh catch of the day. Come on, man.
No, I thought we were making food jokes. I don't know
we're
what's
not.
going on.
Appetizer, we're doing both plays. Appetizer, dinner. Any home run. I don't care about his home run.
Fine. Totally different sponsorship on the home run. I got it. All right. Anyway, Kyle Bearclaw is in, the third pitcher of the night for the Marlins. After 6 strong to begin it for Harlan Garcia, 7 strikeouts along the way, 3 strikeouts in the 1 inning of work for Teheran Guerrero. As Kyle Bearclaw will face the top third of the Dodgers lineup, Taylor, Hernandez, and Matt Kemp.
Real quick on Guerrero, that's 4 consecutive appearances with multiple strikeout efforts. He is locked in right now.
Scott Alexander out there in the Dodger bullpen. As we noted earlier, back-to-back wins in the weekend series for the Dodgers against the Washington Nationals. Kenley Jansen used in the last 2 nights. It's April. There's probably no real need to use him 3 consecutive games.
I agree. Dave Roberts was already hinting at almost all circumstances. Kenley Jansen with the night off. Of course, what happens? This is baseball, right? 1-1 ball game.
Absolutely.
That's how it goes.
He'll pitch the 15th. Or something like that. Bearclaw gets the sign from JT Realmuto. 1-2 misses just high. Bearclaw pitched twice in the series in Milwaukee. Last saw him on Saturday night when the Marlins had the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Looked as though he got the 3rd out. Fly ball out to shallow left center field, fell in. The run came in to score, so Bearclaw charged with a blown save. Whipped down the left field line, fair and toward the corner. That'll be extra bases for Chris Taylor. A leadoff double here in the 8th.
Well, this is the changeup. Kyle Bearclaw, we've talked about it, how effective the changeup has been for him as a 3rd pitch. It really has. Well, this one stayed up above the knees at the thighs. Pitches the inner 3rd. Taylor jumped all over it, rips it into the left field corner.
So now it's Hernandez. Counting for the only run tonight for the Dodgers. A solo home run to left center field back in the 4th. But also added a hit in the 6th. I just showed you what he's done on the defensive end to impact this game. Bohr was inching in. The throw down to second was close, but it got away from Castro.
Dodgers 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position for their last 26. Struggling a little bit in this situation.
Corey Seager looming on deck. Once again, Bohr inching in over there at first. Drops the bunt down, 3rd base side. Bearclaw has no play at first. Not sure if he lost a grip on it or not. But it's first and third and nobody out.
Well, he undoubtedly did everything right, including fielding the ball. This must be about the grip of the baseball. Everybody was in position and where they needed to be. Well, the Castro had moved over to second base. Justin Bohr had crashed. Very good bunt by Kike Hernandez. Gets it down and deadens it. That's what you want. Ball's not rolling. It comes to a stop. So you watch Kyle comes over, he picks it up. We're almost a stop. Yeah. Almost looked like he got about half the baseball with that initial grab. It's going to go as a hit. First and third situation now with nobody out.
That will bring up the former Rookie of the Year. I know that doesn't narrow it down, but it's Corey Seager. Takes a look at ball one. There's Taylor over there at third base. He led off the inning with a double. Moved over to third on the Kike Hernandez bunt.
Third hit of the game for Hernandez. There's only 6 hits tonight.
Marlins, of course, play the infield in with the go-ahead run 90 feet away. That's a called strike, 1-1. Bearclaw didn't register a strikeout in his last outing against the Brewers, but boy, could he use one here.
He's dialed up a couple fastballs in the outside corner. Nicely done. Get ahead of the count.
He's faced Seager 3 times. Seager's 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Seager chokes up a bit with 2 strikes. And Bearclaw delivers low and in, blocked there by Real Muto.
Dodgers have speed on the bases. Goes at first and third. Marlins now shortening up. Defensively.
Two on the way is outside and the count runs full. Piece to stay alive. 94 miles an hour on the outside edge. The outer third. Either way, a good pass at it by Seager. Again, the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. A huge strikeout. For Bearclaw, there's one away.
Yeah, that's big time stuff from Bearclaw. Able to go to his wipeout slider. That's how the at-bat started. This comes full circle, picks up a strike on the outside corner. He's going to go out there again, dots it one more time. Remember, his changeup was the pitch that Taylor knocked down the left field line. I'm wondering if, in fact, maybe he lost a little confidence in that. Goes back to the slider and gets the swing and miss. Huge pitch for Kyle Bearclaw.
Yeah, a big out, but not out of the woods just yet. His home run threat, Cody Bellinger, steps up. Still first and third, 1 out. Didn't go around, says third base umpire Doug Eddings. Looks like Bohr a little off the bag at first, but even with first base. Rojas behind the second base bag as this one is chopped foul.
Bellinger has shown a few different times tonight his willingness to expand the strike zone. Kyle Bearclaw can exploit that. He's chased particularly up. Garcia was able to get a few pitches by him at the top of the zone.
First time Bearclaw and Bellinger have faced one another. And a big spot here for the Dodgers, who scored their run in the bottom of the fourth on a Hernandez home run. Marlins tied it at the top of this eighth inning. A Brian Anderson RBI single. And the 1-2 from Bearclaw. Smothered by Real Muto.
Bearclaw wanted that pitch. He was hoping Bellinger would expand. He may try again. Bearclaw trying to navigate the toughest part of this Dodger lineup.
To right field, Shuck coming in, makes the catch. Taylor tags from third. Here's the throw, and it's not in time. Shuck slid to make the catch. Kind of a pop-up slide to throw home, but Taylor far too quick, and it's 2-1.
Everything becomes desperation. This breaking ball stays up in the zone. Bellinger gets great wood on it, lines it to right. As an outfielder, you're just doing your best to give yourself a chance. But of course, you've got to make the catch first. So you see JB down to one knee, make the catch, and pop up as quickly as he can, but enough to get the go-ahead run across here in the eighth.
And now Yasmani Grandal takes ball one. Is that a situation where as an outfielder it's just kind of right in that weird spot?
Yeah, you'd love to set everything up where you can get some momentum going back, get off your best throw, towards home. Clearly that's what you want, so you're playing a little bit deeper. But when you get a line drive at you, you just got, rule of thumb, you got to catch the ball first, and line drives kind of break the rules. You can't get your feet set, exactly the way that you want. You just don't have time. Obviously under a fly ball you do.
I guess what I'm getting at is when it's caught kind of fingers up, that's how you're used to catching a baseball.
Well, again, listen, there's a lot of different ways to teach quickness and getting rid of the ball as fast as you can. But again, the line drive is the one where you catch. You're right. You'd love to be able to get up here where your hand is almost in your glove and you're pulling it out at the same time. But line drive always breaks all the rules. Even if you teach young outfielders today, you watch it, most of them you don't even really practice it. Line drive practice, we fly ball practice, get your feet right, get something going, but in that instance just not enough. It's not on JB Shuck, that's actually Bellinger with a good at bat.
And now this one looped behind the second base bag as Rojas puts that one away. Chris Taylor with the leadoff double comes around to score on the sacrifice fly. Marlins down to the last 3 outs, down a run in LA. To you by Kubota. For information or to find a Kubota dealer near you, go to gokubota.com. By Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, in pursuit of your cure. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. Paul Severino, Todd Hollingsworth back with you. Opener of a 3-game set. It has been a good one here for sure. Both starting pitchers setting the tone. Not a lot of offense in a 2-1 ball game. Corey Seager, who pinch hit in the bottom of the 8th, stays in to take over at shortstop. And that will move Enrique Hernandez from short to second. And the other change for the Dodgers is a new pitcher as Josh Fields comes in out of their bullpen. Again, Kenley Jansen used in back-to-back days, so no Kenley in this situation. It'll be Josh Fields trying to nail it down for the Dodgers.
Well, Josh Fields off to a good start this year. Fastball, curveball change. Uses the fastball 70% of the time, 93, 95 miles an hour.
Derek Dietrich, the pinch hitter, takes upstairs 1-0. Dietrich got the night off, at least to this point, of course, in left field. He's always fared pretty well here at Dodger Stadium. They could use some of those heroics right now. Down a run in the 9th.
Fields has picked up a couple of saves in his career, both last year.
He also pitched in last night's ball game. Picked up the win as the Dodgers won 2 of 3 from the Nationals. 2-0 to Dietrich. A called strike. Marlins Live post-game show presented by W.B. Mason coming up after the ball game. Jessica Blaylock live from the field. We'll hear from the skipper Don Mattingly. Certainly some thoughts on Harlan Garcia's night as he has turned in now 3 consecutive gems in the starting rotation. Dietrich ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. He's a .367 hitter in 10 games here at Dodger Stadium. Three and 2. .23 hits this season for Derek Dietrich, good enough for 11th in the National League. Trying to set the table for Justin Bour, who's on deck. To Seager, backhands, throws off balance, got him. Between a strong arm and a tall drink of water over there at first, Bellinger able to stretch and get the out.
That's about the 3rd bang bang play at first base tonight. Marlins out of the box, so close. See Bellinger stretching, just to the interior of the glove, just before he hits the bag.
Looked at it, but they will not challenge, and there is 1 away. Well, there's been no shortage of great defense by the Dodgers shortstops tonight, whether it was the 2 from Hernandez when he was over there or Seager fresh off the bench.
That's 3 tonight.
And now here's Justin Bour. .2 to Bour, who is 0-4-2 in limited action against Josh Fields.
Bour broke his bat. Saw a first pitch breaking ball, then a changeup. Fields wanting to give the big man anything near the plate.
Moore came in to pinch hit in the 7th inning. Struck out, so this is his second at bat of the ball game, and he pops this one up on the infield. Grandal looking for a little bit of help. It's going to be Bellinger for the second out. And Miguel Rojas is going to be the last hope for the Marlins tonight.
Now we've seen some good pitching tonight on both sides. Field's soft early, down and up top of the zone to get JB to pop up.
First time Rojas has faced Fields in his career, and he takes ball 1. Rojas looking for his first hit tonight, 0-4. Thought he had a hit back in the 2nd inning, but Hernandez, ranging behind the second base bag, took one away. Looking to extend this ball game, get it to JT Realmuto, get the tying run on base here in the 9th. Lofted out to left field, and it will fall in front of Jock Peterson. So Rojas does just that. The Marlins still alive here in the 9th.
Yeah, paybacks is what we'll call that for Rojas, who was robbed of a couple hits tonight. Gets up on this fastball, jammed a little bit, but a good swing nonetheless to get it in. Marlins have an opportunity and have their current hottest hitter at the plate.
Couple of singles tonight for Realmuto, 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th. To continue his hot hitting here at this ballpark. In the air towards center field. Back goes Hernandez. In comes Taylor. He'll squeeze it, and that will do it for the Marlins. They played a tight game with the Dodgers, but a run in the bottom of the 8th inning was enough for the Dodgers to take the opener of this 3-game series. 2-1 is your final score. Still much more to come here from Los Angeles. WB Mason Marlins Live postgame coming up after the break.